When I received word that I'd been accepted to go on an honor flight to Washington, D.C., one of the first things that I wanted to consider was how I was going to carry the equipment I needed for shooting videos. I knew I wanted to shoot videos of most everything that happened there, and it was going to require more equipment than I'd use for shooting a cooking video or something like that. But the main thing is how I was going to carry it. I needed hands-free and some way to carry everything. And I thought of cargo pants, but they weren't big enough. And I considered a fanny pack or a backpack, but they just wouldn't work out for what the purpose I needed. And I started an internet search for messenger bags and man bags and things like that. And most everything that I found on there reminded me of the old joke, "Don't call me a sissy or I'll hit you with my purse." Then one day I got one of the ads that came through. You know, if you search for something, you get ads to sell it to you. And I got an ad for a bag that looked like it had a lot of potentials for what I wanted. The ad was for a Kaukko messenger bag, utility messenger bag it was called, and it looked masculine enough with the leather trim on it and all that, and the size was about right. So I ordered one, and when I got it in, I was pleasantly surprised at the quality of it. It's all double sewn and heavy canvas, leather reinforcements, all the edges are bound, it's well sealed. It's just a very well made bag. But one of the things that I noticed most of all on it was these metallic fasteners, or magnetic fasteners. All you have to do is just get it close and the magnet snaps it in place and it holds. And it holds very well. It's got one over here on this packet here and two down here. And I started trying to figure out what all these things were for. It has a zippered pocket in here. This is about 4 by 6 by 8 inches, which is nice and big, and it has a drawstring closure in top, which you can pull it shut and secure it, and that looks to me like it'd be just ideal so you don't dump things out if you get it upside down. And then on the front it has a small pocket here and a larger zippered pocket here in the main compartment. And this over here, I don't know what's for except maybe a buck knife or Leatherman or cell phone or something like that. It's not big enough for the smartphone, but it'd fit a flip phone. And it's got a couple net bags on the side here. They aren't big enough, they're elastic, but they aren't big enough for a water bottle. I don't know what they were meant for, but it looked like a pretty good buy for about, I think I only paid about $25 for it, I think, with shipping. So it was very good, and I used it for my cameras on the trip. It has an adjustable strap here on it, good heavy buckles, and well made, and it's built to where you can carry it on either side. I'm right-handed, so I carried it on my left side. That worked best for me. But on the airplane where the seats were narrow, if I had to, I could move it around in front of me, and it would be out of the way of either side of the seat. And it also made it easily accessible from the front, from the top here. And in there I could carry everything I needed. Unsnap these, flip the top back, and it would go over the top and out of the way. And inside of it, in the pocket, I carried my wallet and passport in the most remote pocket in here, so it would be the hardest for a pickpocket to ever get to. And I carried 2 main cameras, video cameras. They're identical. And then the case with this one here was the spare batteries for the cameras and for the other camera. And on the front here I carried my little point and shoot. It shoots both video and stills, and it's easy to handle and drop in my shirt pocket or something, and that worked out. On the side, in one of these mesh pockets, I carried this little portable tripod which opens up, and you can set a camera on a desk or anything like that. It's really handy for that. I never realized how handy that was going to be until I had it and used it a few times. And here was my flip phone in here. And it left enough space in there that I carried a sandwich in there one time and a water bottle. You could put extra things in it. But for $20 or $25, it was a good buy. Oh yes, and I figured out what these are for. You loosen them up, and you could take a plastic poncho, rain poncho, and roll it up tightly, and it will fit in there. Or I suppose you could fit an umbrella crossways in there. And we did have rain up there, and they issued the ponchos, and of course we turned them back in. We didn't have to carry them with us, but it would be handy for that if you were going alone. So in my estimation, the price was good on it. It did what I wanted it to. I had a wonderful trip with honor flights. And if you're a veteran of World War II or Korea, and they're going to start adding in veterans from Vietnam, if you get a chance to apply for an honor flight trip to Washington, D.C. to see the monuments to the various wars and everything else, it's a fantastic trip. It costs the veteran absolutely nothing. It's all paid for by donations and corporate sponsors. That includes your air flight, your motel or hotel room for the night, meals. But you do learn to live on sandwiches, because there's only one sit-down meal in the evening and then breakfast the next morning. But you get very good sandwiches. Some were made by Jimmy John's, and I've forgotten now who else, but they were very good sandwiches and very adequate for the need. But the main thing is the support people that help. Every serviceman gets one person responsible for them. It's called their valet or their butler or their guardian. I was lucky enough to have a young lady, she's a grandmother, but she was a beautiful lady and most helpful, and she volunteered her time away from her job as a building manager in Dallas to go on the trip and see that I was where I needed to be at any time. She pushed the wheelchair that I rode in most of the time, and she's just a delightful lady, and I met me a new friend. But as I say, if you get a chance, put in your application for honor flights. It took me almost 2 years for mine to come around, but it was well worth the wait.